It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day, day and night, to increase its security.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border.
But the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Democrats and their propagandist protectors in the corporate media might actually be waking up. Mayorkas will be impeached. The border is looking like it's going to be the key issue in the election, unless, of course, something crazy happens between now and then. And honestly, judging from the way the last 3 years have gone, I'd say it's almost a certainty that something more crazy than the border happens between now and then. But anyway, as it sits right now, immigration is an issue. The border is even bigger issue. And even career enablers like Jake Tapper are waking up, and they have to do something. They have to say something. So what is the play for the Democrats? Well, evil Greg Abbott. That's the play, of course, just like a freaking Scooby-Doo episode. None of this would have happened. None of this would have been a thing if not for that pesky Texas governor.
Let's talk about border security. While I understand that you find the maneuver offensive, do you not see that the move by Governor Abbott of Texas to bus migrants to Democratic-leaning cities such as New York or Chicago or Denver, that while you might think it's cruel, it has been effective at demonstrating how this influx of migrants has sapped social service resources and demonstrated that this is a real crisis? Do you agree with that?
Well, Governor Abbott is an embarrassment and a human trafficker. But besides his political gamesmanship, I do think it's important for all of us, Democrats and Republicans, to recognize that we have a broken immigration system. We do need to address the challenges at the border, and it should be done in a manner that is comprehensive and bipartisan. That will be the only way to solve this problem. We're in a period of divide.
An embarrassment and a human trafficker just rolls right off his tongue. Can you imagine how proud a conservative leader must be to get labeled with that sort of vitriol by someone as esteemed as Hakeem Jeffries? What a freaking joke, man. Obviously, this guy, no one takes him serious. I mean, if he cared at all about human trafficking, our border would be closed. Our border is the human trafficking capital of the entire freaking world, and the most dangerous land migration route on the planet, probably in all of human history. And these people don't actually care about human trafficking. The only thing it is to them is a useful, scary word. But this is what happens when you've built an entire career off of confusing and abusing low information single issue voters. You cannot even admit the problem that you've caused without speaking in lazy sound bites. But if we dig past his lazy sound bites, because that's all they are, what do you think New Nancy means when he says it needs to be bipartisan and comprehensive? Do you think he means 5,000 new migrants per day? Is that comprehensive? Or do you think he can get on board with the border security bill that Congress has already passed? You know, the one that Chuck Schumer refuses to even look at, and the American people aren't even aware exists, because it deals with all of this. But so far, the only politician truly dealing with any of it is Governor Greg Abbott, and he's doing exactly what the citizens of Texas elected him to do: protect their citizens, protect their resources, and protect their borders. The only people the federal government is helping are the cartels.
Took over. He declared the southwest border a non-emergency, which shut down all the developments here on the border.
Just to get this straight, this part of the fence was built by the Obama administration.
The new this is a model from the Obama administration.
And then President Trump purchased all this material, these huge piles, a mile of material here, to complete the fence over that hill. And you can see the ditch, you can see the cut. And the day that he took office, President Biden issued an order shutting down construction, and all of this material now is...
This is a very small percentage of the material still left. The majority of it, 90%, has been shipped out and sold as scrap. Salvage, yep. Top of the hill, come down, there's a tree to the left. That's where the scout system that we'll see every day. Cartel scout. He directs the traffic across.
Is there a cartel scout up there right now?
Yeah, he's up there right now. I guarantee
had already been purchased. Much of the work had already been paid for. And just to appease a radical base, just a virtue signal, Joe Biden stopped the work. allowed the materials to basically rot in the sun before selling it for pennies on the dollar. And now they're quietly trying to fix the problem that they allowed through executive order. But the problem is fixing it takes a lot more than some executive virtue signal order. Fixing it actually takes will, and you actually have to be competent. Just trying to fix it so you don't lose your jobs, that doesn't exactly cut it. And Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, they know this. They're at least smart enough for that. And still, they try to convince these low information victims of theirs that in all of this, with thousands and thousands of people dying at the border and hundreds times that dying from fentanyl, that Greg Abbott is the bad guy. And RFK Jr., he is a smart man. He knows that this is not true, which is exactly why he left the Democratic Party. The guy's a lifelong Democrat, heir to the family that is actual Democrat royalty, not just fraudulent royalty like an Obama or a Clinton, but actual Camelot itself. And he had to leave the Democrat Party to even have a shot at stopping their destruction. And that, when you look at it just like that, that is remarkable stuff. But he's not the only one that knows that they are the ones responsible. And, and what they're responsible for. And whether rhinos like Ken Buck of Colorado or Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin or Tom McClintock of California, whether they like it or not, the world now knows with the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas. And they voted against it. I don't know why. Speaking on Ken Buck, why is it that when Republicans quit, they do this whole Jerry Maguire act? I don't get it. I don't know what they're angling for. I hope that they know that whatever TV deals are possible, they're going to go to Liz Cheney and Chris Christie before any of these guys that no one's ever heard of. But here's the interesting thing about Mayorkas' impeachment. It will go to the Senate, and it'll likely end up in a tie. And if it does end up in a tie, he will likely get saved by the tie-breaking vote of the border czar herself. And wouldn't that be something? That would just send the message loud and clear. But it doesn't matter what happens to him. The truth is coming.
Doubt there is gridlock on Congress, but do you bear responsibility for what is happening at the border, what the president himself has called a crisis?
It certainly is a crisis, and we don't bear responsibility for a broken system, and we're doing a tremendous amount within that broken system.
What a surprise. Of course I don't bear any responsibility. It's only been my job and my policy and my watch that we've seen illegal crossings jump by 10 times. I mean, you guys should be happy. If it wasn't for me, who knows what it would have jumped by 11 or 12, 13 times easy. Come on. I mean, ridiculous. I don't know where these people come from, but the kind of people that are able to sit in these kind of interviews knowing the destruction that they have personally been responsible for, and they still try to blame it on a guy that's been gone for 3 freaking years. I mean, come on. Here's what I honestly think happened with these people on the border. I think they saw the years that Donald Trump had border crossings down to less than 400,000 people, and they thought that they could use it as some sort of virtue signal to their base, and that whatever happened, they could control it. But like any good liberal, they had no clue, no forethought about what their words and their actions really will lead to, because they don't understand human nature. They only understand their own selfishness, their own virtuousness, or whatever you want to call it. They never thought that their virtue signals were actually giant green lights to the smugglers of the entire world, and green lights to the desperate people that those smugglers prey on. And now look where we're at. 3 million people per year, man, which no matter what side you're on, no matter if you believe that your views are the tolerant or the accepting or the humanitarian approach, no matter what side you're on, you have to understand the basic math and acknowledge that this is not a trend that any nation in the entire history of the world could possibly sustain. It's just not possible. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of the channel's growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.